Hello, room 2. It's time to build a bird. I have my materials. I have glue stick, scissors, and my colors of paper. Construction paper. Construction paper works best, but if you don't have construction paper, that's okay. You can actually use white paper, and then you can take a crayon or a marker and color the whole paper one color, and then get another piece of white paper, color that paper a different color, and do that until you have all the colors you need. The key is to have a solid color piece of paper, if it's a construction paper or if it's a white paper that you colored. Now, first thing you need to do is decide what kind of bird you discovered in your imagination. Where were you? Let's start there, because the habitat will tell us what kind of feet and what kind of beak your bird will have. It might even tell us what color the bird is. I'm going to pretend that my bird lives in a dark green forest, and it actually walks on the ground, and it uses its beak to go through the earth and find seeds that have fallen, maybe from the cones of the trees. So it's not a water bird. That means it doesn't need to have webbed feet. It needs to have feet for walking on a forest floor. Okay, so now I have an idea of what the feet are going to look like. And because it's digging through the forest floor to find seeds from different cones from the trees, well then I think it should probably have a sharp beak that's not too flat like a finch, but something a little bit longer so it can get through some of the twigs and the duff that's down on the forest floor. Now also, it needs to protect itself from predators, so I think it should probably camouflage with the forest floor. So let's see, do you think this is going to be a camouflage color? Yellow? Kind of stands out. How about orange? Maybe. I've seen dried orange leaves on the floor, so I might use orange. Pink and purple, they kind of stand out a little bit, so I'm not going to use that. Although I have seen yellow, I'm going to keep the yellow over here. Definitely green. My two favorite colors here, brown and black. This could be good camouflage. Maybe just a little bit of red. Maybe just a little red so that, oh, maybe it can use some red feathers to scare off any predators that are trying to eat it. Yeah, because we got to worry about protection. So I have the colors that I need. Now, if you want to hit pause, go ahead and hit pause. Go get your materials and then come back and hit play. Okay? And I'm going to start building my bird, and you can build with me. Okay, here we go. All right. Got a little music on in the background. First, I'm going to start with feet. Now remember, I'm not using pencil. I'm not drawing anything. I'm just going to cut, and I'm going to use my imagination. So I want my bird to be able to walk through the forest floor. And parts of the forest floor might actually be a little bit deep. So my bird is going to need to have long legs and toes that will not get too caught, but also needs to be able to stand strong, so they need to really spread out. And if you learned about the feet, you know that every bird has 4 toes. Did you notice that? If you didn't see that, I want you to go back to some of the pictures. Just cutting, just snipping. There's one leg. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and do another one. Maybe I can try to make it the same height. That would be good. Okay, so it's going to be about this high. Sometimes when I do art, it's a little difficult to do when I have a large piece of paper. So I'm going to put that to the side. Yeah. It's good height. Okay. I'm going to do another one. 3 toes. Or 4 toes. I said 3. Oops. Ooh. Fun when paper goes flying. Alright, scraps. I'll recycle those later. There we go. That's the back toe, and these are the 3 front toes. Gotta go walking through the forest floor, try to find some seeds. Okay. Now I'm going to make the body, and I decided I think I want to have an orange body on the bottom, so the bottom feathers will be orange, and I think the top will be black. So if there's a predator looking down onto the bird, they just see a black that kind of goes in, camouflages a little bit with the forest floor. Maybe I'll do some green and brown feathers to go on top of that. But the bottom of the bird will be orange. Okay, so I'm going to start making my bird shape. I'm just making this up. I think I'll go round. I'll attach the head in a little bit. Maybe I'll do an oval. It's kind of an oval. Like this. And I'm thinking that I'm going to glue the legs on down here. Okay. So I'll glue the legs in just a moment. Now I want to have a little bit of black on the top. Maybe I'll do some smaller feathers on the top. I'm going to pause it while I cut, and so when I hit unpause, you'll have already seen some feathers on here. So I cut out some feathers. I think I might glue them on here, kind of like this. Something like this. I decided that my bird doesn't fly. Did you know that kiwis are birds that don't fly? Kiwis are also a fruit, but the kiwi bird doesn't fly. An ostrich doesn't fly. My bird doesn't fly. It walks, but it can move quickly. I'll have to think of a good name for this bird. Something like this. Maybe I'll use some scraps and I'll make a couple more leaves. No, leaves, I mean feathers. They're the color of leaves, that's what I was thinking. I can even glue that on here. No need to waste any scraps, huh? One more. I like this record because it's a great musician named Andrew Bird. It's kind of funny. Okay, so now I'm going to need a little bit more color. I think I want to give it a red neck. Let's see. Maybe that'll, yeah, I think I'm going to use a red neck because the neck color red will, maybe it will tell its predators, like any bobcats or mountain lions, to stay away. Okay? now I'm going to cut out a head. I think I'll give it a green head so it can kind of blend in a little bit with the forest floor and when it's rustling through the leaves. I'm going to hit pause again. I'm running out of time, so like my video can't be too long. Shapes plus shapes equal more shapes. So I just kind of did, it's kind of like an oval, kind of like an egg shape. And I'll put it on the head like this. Now, what's my bird missing? It needs a beak, and it needs some eyes, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and cut that out too. I did a one circle for an eye, because we're looking at the side of the bird. And then what shape is this? Yeah, triangles. Shapes plus shapes equal more shapes. And look, now it can eat. There you go. Gotta be able to eat. And maybe I'll add some more feathers, I'm not sure yet. I'm gonna go ahead and glue it together. And then while I'm gluing, I'm gonna think of a name for this super cool bird I just discovered on my hike in the imaginary forest. Tip, whenever you're doing the glue, put the glue on the back of the piece you're going to glue on. That way, I won't have a big glue splotch all over my bird's face. Okay. Okay, so I've glued all of these pieces on, and I'll hold up my bird. Still thinking of a name. Still thinking of a name. Look on the back. You can just see where I glued the pieces together. And I didn't glue all of the feathers. Like, I didn't glue them on completely because I think I want to kind of do a little, like, fold them up just a little bit. Make it look like it's a little three-dimensional, even though it's a flat bird. Kind of roll them up just a little bit. Could even use a little pencil. Guess who doesn't have a pencil behind his ear right now? That's right, me. If I had a pencil, I might roll these and then it'd give them kind of a neat look, but instead, I'll just kind of curl them. And then I thought it'd be kind of fun, so I made one more set of feathers. And for this, I took what's kind of like a triangle, but it's got a curved side, and then I just started snipping down. And now, I can kind of move my fingers through it. And do you guys want to know where I learned how to do that? Do you want to learn the first place Mr. Dowd ever learned how to cut like this? Kindergarten. I'll never forget it. Westwood Elementary School. Okay. So then I was going to put it right here on the chest of the bird. Maybe that can also help protect the bird if a predator comes over. Oh, I know. It'll puff out its chest and the feathers. Oh, maybe it does that when it's protecting its eggs, because we know that all birds lay eggs. All birds have wings, too. Some of them don't use them to fly, though. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 30. Okay, let's pretend I held it down for 30 seconds. Now let's check out my bird. There it is. Now I need to give it a name. Now I know that it eats seeds. It lives in a forest. So I think and oh, you know how it walks? It walks kind of like this. It does 3 hops. So I'm going to think of a good name. I'm running out of time, so I got to think of a name quick. Okay, so it hops, and it's in California. So I decided to call it the California Hopping Seed Picker. Yeah. Oh my, look! It's one of those rare California hopping seed picker birds. And guess what sound it makes? Here's the bird call. It goes. Pupritu, 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 pupritu. And when you hear that sound, don't look up, because you know that this bird can't fly. It lays its eggs on the ground, and it also hops through the ground. Pupritu, 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 pupritu. All right, hope you have fun making yours.